And because I don't have my glasses on, right forwards.
Yes.
Good afternoon. I am here to share with you about East Bay Camp. East Bay Camp has been changing lives on the shores of Lake Bloomington since 1930. While some things have changed over the years, our mission of connecting people, nature, and Christ has remained the same. We are funded by the United Methodist Church, but it's not always been that way. In 1929, when the city of Bloomington was prepared to change their water source and building a lake that nobody really was sure was going to come through, a pastor who was serving a Congregational church and later a Presbyterian church here in town named Frank Green was walked out to the lake, and I mean walked. There were no roads at that time. And they began to vision what it would look like to create a place for children and youth to allow them to experience creation. And that is exactly what happened. On a handshake and with some prayer, the city turned over land. We're on a 99-year lease, and with a little luck, they'll sign another one in a couple of years here. But they began a place of ministry. It wasn't denominationally based. It welcomed everyone, and we continue to do that today. One of the things that we're committed to is serving children and youth. Now, I will be the first to tell you, we have businesses out, we have schools out, we do all sorts of things that we host, that we provide overnight space to and otherwise. This past week, we had 45 quilters that worked day and night, and they had a ball. I got tired watching them, but they had a ball. But it's those sorts of things that fund things like this. Our mission allows kids to be kids. I got a call from someone at Hudson Elementary this year after the first day of school. And they said to me, "What are you doing out there?" And it was one of those deep breaths, like, is there another question they're really asking? And a young man who was new to their school had gone and in sharing about his summer, he said, "They have the best first aid kits. They know how to take care of us if we get hurt. And I didn't even want an electronic all summer long." He's just a sample of our day campers that come. We have about 50 day campers that come each day for 10 weeks during the summer. I believe we are a key solution to rural child care in McLean County. They come and they play. Now, to you and me, they're playing in the grass, but they talk about playing in the forest. And they create, and they dream. This year, one of my favorite things they dreamed up were the levels that they jumped from. Again, for you and me, they were jumping from here to here, but they had this whole scheme that they created. And I am convinced their lives are changed because how they experienced not only nature, but how they experienced getting along with other people who were not just like them, and also through the power of Christ at work in camp. There's 5 things that we believe in our overnight and day camp programs that we promote. We believe it should be participatory. They need to have their bodies moving, engage their minds, and touch their souls. We believe that God is at the center of our camps. If you come out with a business meeting, we are not going to be in your space talking and promoting a faith agenda. We merely do that through hosting and expressing our care and welcome to all people. But in our summer camps, that is a commitment that we have. Safe space. We hire young adults, and they are trained in very specific ways, not only to meet the Department of Illinois public health guidelines, but also for the American Camp Association that sets best practices for the industry. Relational. We work on things like conflict resolution. We work on things like, how do we talk to a friend when I think they've taken something? Very basic skills, but they go home and they learn and apply those things. And finally, unplugged from home. Now, what that means is not just electronically, we're an electronic-free environment for our summer campers. It also means unplugged from home. So when I say it that way, it means at my house, this parent might use this tone of voice and have this kind of expected behavior from that. It allows them to see the world with a different lens, that maybe males can do some things differently than they do at their house or in settings that they know, and likewise females. All sorts of things become exposure opportunities, if you will, that they can learn and grow from. A couple of statistics that are really important to share. 90% of our campers try something new when they come to camp. They may not want to, and they might go this way and they might go this way, but eventually they explore and try, and they're supported in a community that helps them be at their best. And if they just take a little step, we cheer that little step on. Some people might canoe all across the lake. Others might stay within the bounds of our immediate canoeing area. But we celebrate all of that and what comes with trying something new. Most importantly, when we surveyed our campers this past year, 92% of our campers grew in self-confidence when they returned home from camp. We celebrate that. Our children and youth of today need to know that they are valued and have self-worth and that they are good. I want to give you a glimpse of what it looks like to be an overnight camper at East Bay Camp. We have 4 cabins pictured on the left. These are our newest cabins. We even got to protect them in plastic for a year because of COVID. So they were formally introduced in 2020. But these not only are home to overnight camp, but days apart for business people that just want to get away with their family and unplug and go, we don't want anybody to be able to find us. They will rent these. For some of your business profiles, you should know that when executives have been coming to town and they have big dogs that don't need any apartment or rental setting in the area, we have had families use us as transitional housing with their pets so that they could stay together until they could move into their homes. Family reunions, birthday parties. Have you ever wanted to have an overnight, 15th birthday party at your house? Nobody in their right mind wants that, right? But you can do it at camp, and it's fun, and it's good, and it's easy to clean up, and we do those sorts of things. Other things that we host unrelated to these facilities include celebrations, everything we can do to support scouting programs, in addition to volunteer opportunities. Whether it be local church groups or businesses, if someone comes out and volunteers a half day, we provide a meal for them and snacks. If someone comes out and volunteers over the course of 2 days, we provide lodging and food. So we try to create an opportunity not only to serve, but to get away. The other unsung piece of summer camp that I want to share with you today is what we do in the lives of young adults. Adam, pictured here, he's a State Farm kid, but he is in his senior year of college at Florida State. And he's just a perfect example of someone who gave a few years to work at camp. This past summer, he actually did an internship and wasn't able to be with us. But he knows that he has grown in leadership, communication, critical thinking, collaboration, resilience, empathy, adaptability, work ethic. All of those qualities we teach in young adults at camp. At the end of this summer, I was meeting with one of our young adults who never had to work, and he was going off to college this fall, and his parents made him get a job. And he came to me and he said, "Do I really have to fill this out? All you need to know is you taught me how to work." And he was serious. He he never knew you had to get up and you show up at a certain time. And so I want you to know that camping is a critical work setting that teaches wonderful, wonderful skills that serve young adults well in the workplace. They may have a culture to learn, but they certainly learn some basic skills that will help them succeed. And that is what we do in camping ministry. The final point I want to say, we work with students both academically during semester basis, but also the summer to fund internships. We know that whether it be in environmental education, ministry, related work areas, we provide a very unique setting because we're not only able to pay them a wage, but we're able to provide them food and housing. We recently had a young man that was actually with us 2.5 years, and we were able to help support him not only through work hours, but through a housing crisis in Bloomington in terms of affordable college housing. We were able to help him and partner together. And he has moved to Maine and is doing bigger and better things now. So thank you for allowing me to share about East Bay Camp and our mission of connecting people, nature, and Christ. Thank you.